We're going to be talking about Black women. I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I'm going to trigger a lot of people. Maybe not. I think that a lot of us are light workers here. Deep down, we are heart centered. No matter what you believe in, like left or right or whatever, at the end of the day, like we believe in going for our dreams and goals and helping people. Period. End of story. Powerful Black women. The powerful Black woman. Women of color, Asian, Indian, doesn't matter. It's all about the accolades. It's all about the accolades. And if you look up accolade, an award or privilege granted as a special honor or an acknowledge of merit, prize, gift, award, privilege, recognition, and privilege. Now, in 2020 and 2021, we went through a lot of racial shit, man. We still going, hit myself with the mic. We're still going through it. I was just talking to my coaching advisors and they were telling me the energy of some of the calls. And this one, she said, I felt like she just had such a big chip on her shoulder, all talking about her degrees and her accolades and, just grew up in a family where it was just highly like, it's all about what you can do academically. And that's it. And if you look up, narcissistic behavioral tendencies, which we all have, but the bad kind. And it's where parents sit there, they make it such a big deal about your education, where you go to school, to the point of some people, and I know a lot of white people that do this too. White, black, I think it's in I'm pretty sure it's in every color, Asian, like comment, if you are a different ethnicity and this goes on in your, with your people, like tell us, because the more we can understand everybody, the more we become one, which is all that matters anyway. And we can help each other heal, because it's like love is love, hate is hate. It like emotions and feelings doesn't discriminate. That totally rhymed. So, I know a lot of people I grew up with, white women, it's all about, got to keep up with the Joneses, trying to, do you see what so-and-so, where they, they're going to school here. And like Skip's ex-wife made it seem like if you didn't go to Georgia, like if you didn't go to UGA, you were a piece of shit. Like if you're sitting around the table and you're talking like where you went to school, if you said like KSU, you were kind of like, down here. If you went here to this school, like you just got a little bit more respect. Like, so we could just say it was like highly prejudiced based on where you went to school, like to the point of toxicity, where those children thought if they didn't get accepted in certain schools that they were going to be a peasant and a piece of shit. That couldn't be any further from the truth. She needs some help, man. Like I don't give a fuck if she went to Harvard and had more degrees than a thermometer. Like I wouldn't want any fucking thing she had to offer. But some people think that education and where you get educated and where you lived and where I knew some people that would look up where their students lived because she wanted to know, and she had this different way of seeing things. Like, oh, I just want to see where they're from. I just want to see where they live, what kind of house they live in. Like, what the fuck, dude? So anyway, there's obviously people out there that think like that. That's why I trigger a lot of people. Like here I come, saying ain't and cussing and being very not professional. Yet I make fucking triple, quad, 5 times, 10 times the amount they make. Triggers a lot of people. Like, how dare she? Look what I have. And then they'll even go to the extent of on all their emails, they're going to be sure to put their MBA, TPT, blah, 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 PhD, all these fucking letters, because that's who they are. It's like wearing labels. Like, look, I'm a piece of shit, but I've got on Gucci. They put their worth in that, just like people put their worth in money or the scale or who they're married to or the fucking house they live in. We're taught to these women where we realize like, wow, they're really fucking hung up on this. They're wanting recognition still. It's like they can't get enough. They keep getting certified. They keep getting this. Sometimes it's just not, at the end of the day, it's because you don't feel fucking good enough. And I'll tell you this, if everybody felt good enough, this world would be a different place. There would be no victim, this or that, and treat us poorly, da da da. Everybody's got a choice. You can choose to stay suppressed and not feeling good enough and not feeling like the rest of the people, and you've got to earn your keep and you've got to prove it and you've got to prove it and you've got to prove it. But to what extent? Because man, your health is going down the shitter. You're stressed the fuck out, trying to do it single momming it. You're trying to do it by your damn self because you're just so proud. That's not helping anybody. Now you're showing your children you sacrifice for what? A fucking degree? A whole training coming up about the neuroscience of what makes people happy. You know what makes people happy? Setting goals and always going for something better. But we've been taught that that's a sin. You should be happy with what you have. Don't be greedy. But neuroscience is coming out and saying that's bullshit. That's actually what makes people happy. But so why chasing accolades and why trying to be the best Why is that a bad thing, Casey, if it makes you happy? Well, I'm just saying, look around at your life. Obviously, you're watching me for some reason. You want to know something. You're looking for something. Maybe you know that there's more to life than the one you're living. Maybe you know there's more than just waking up and working for somebody else or getting your degree and man, it just didn't feel quite the same. Same with me and money. I thought money was going to fix everything. I thought being fit and healthy and like a fucking fitness model was going to fix everything. It did not. Did it help me? Yeah, it helped me figure out that that's not what the fuck I was like. That wasn't the magic sauce. It's just one more thing to help me into enlightenment and continue to go inside and find happy and really work through my trauma and work through my limiting beliefs. Because getting back to the black, white, Asian, whatever you want to call it, I've always had this thing for black women. I don't know, man. It's a respect thing. And I'm not dissing white women. Like, we've been through it. And I have plenty of friends that are white, and they've been through some shit that nobody's should ever deserve to go through. Raped, abuse, poverty, and they've made it out. Like, I see you, right? But I'm just talking about this other thing first, African-American black woman. And I've always had this respect for them. And you know, too, I'm taking off my clothes because I think I put on the heat and this fucking light's making me hot. I love so much about their magic. It really is. And I just wish so bad that some of them could see it. The ones that are very insecure and they still feel like the outsider and they still have to prove themselves. I hate that. And I appreciate the work ethic. But man, it's like, dude, I wish you could see how awesome you were right now. And if you knew you were already awesome, like what would you do, right? You don't need to come in with this thing of because I'm a white chick and because whatever, you've got to have this chip on your shoulder and that we think that it's almost like you're throwing shit at me like, well, I've got this degree and I've got this and that. That's fine. That's cool. I even had one, I think it was Nikisha. She's now in Hot Mom and she goes, I'm tired of being the only black girl in the room. And I said, well, let's look into that because maybe that's something maybe that's your block, right? Because she goes, well, do you know anything about helping black women? And I was like, yeah, I've got black women, but what's that got to do with the price of eggs in China? You know what I'm saying? That's old little Southern saying we used to say. But really, what's that got to do with anything? Because at the end of the day, we're all women. We all have a soul, right? Some of us has been through more things than the other, but guess what? We're resilient as fuck. And women need other strong women. And as a shaman, as a master healer, as an energetic being, me, when all I see is energy. I don't see skin color, right? I see it, but it doesn't make a damn. I don't care if you live in a fucking $7 million home or a $7,000 trailer. If you're good to me and you got a good vibe, man, you're my people. Until you give me something that's going to make me think otherwise. That's just how I am. So, but I do understand that there's people out there that don't think like me. There's people out there that do think because of someone's skin color or degree or what they drive or whatever makes them less or more of a person. I get that. I totally get it. But that's not what we're about here. So if you are listening to this or whatever and you feel like, wow, and you want to hop on the phone with us, but you really want to make sure we know how badass you are, it's not about that. You like something about my energy because it lifts you up. You want to know more. You know that you need to get a handle on your health. You know that you need to be further along than you are, and there's some block there. You know that you're stressed the fuck out. There's something there. You know that you make money, but there's never enough left. There's some block there. And we can get to the other side of it. But going back to the black woman thing, I just want to say, like, I've always had this deep respect for black women because as a woman in general, y'all know this, like every woman on this call can attest to, like, maybe you didn't feel this, but I certainly did. Growing up with a wounded mother and who taught me that men weren't safe, don't trust a man, all this shit. And then looking back, we're just a few years in the fucking civil rights shit, like where women actually, is it civil rights? What the fuck? I don't know. I can't remember, but like where women actually had rights. And then I was reading a book yesterday that I don't know if it was something legally that happened or spiritual, where a woman can actually just say to her husband, like, I don't want to have sex, and that's okay. Because women for so long, it's that witch wound. Women were, look back in the day, the witch wound, man, just a woman that had Intuition, which is feminine, by the way, it's the divine feminine piece of us when we are born. Our birthright is intuition. Church squelches it out because back in the day, a woman tapped into her true femininity was extremely powerful. Not fucking mixing frog legs in a cauldron, y'all. Come on. I'm saying true divine femininity is one of the most powerful things ever. It can change the world, right? Because of the way divine feminine energy is. And with that being said, that's why I think that for so long ago we were suppressed, because we were like a woman that's very strong and sure of herself and sexy and owning her goddess energy. It threatens a lot of women, but it will threaten the fuck out of a baby boy, out of a wounded man. And it's our job to heal our feminine wounds so that we become a goddess and a queen, so that we can attract and have a king. Does that make sense? So with that being said, this goes back a long time about women being suppressed. Now you add being black on top of that. Look, I can't imagine. And now I don't think this has happened, and maybe it has to people like that's my age, like, because obviously we didn't have slavery back then. But, you know, if you just put yourself in a black woman's shoes back in the day, like when slavery was a thing, and you had your babies and were ripped, your whole family was ripped apart. Like, dude, there's some generational trauma there. Just like, you know, Europeans coming over and whatever. But there's generational trauma in every ethnicity, period. But if you just put yourself in their shoes, or maybe if you are a black girl listening to this, like, it's there, okay? Your grandparents know that. Your mom, they're aware of that. And just like the Great Depression, like, trauma goes down in the generations, right? And it gets passed down. So some of this stuff that's tied up, that's got you blocked up, could be just generational shit that ain't even yours. And you're like, why the fuck? Like, I didn't even grow up like that. I grew up with actually getting to go to college and to be around this and to be, you know, privileged and all that stuff, right? Even if you're not privileged, you can still work. You can work, set fucking goals, and make anything happen. Like, I know a girl that was extremely poor, and she got in there and she fucking hustled and got a scholarship to Harvard, and she is graduating as some kind of a law attorney. And she busted her ass all through school to get grants and play instruments and do everything, because she knew financially her family was not going to be able to support her dreams. And she did the damn thing. That's fucking cool. So anyway, as you can see, yeah, women, we've been suppressed, but guess what? There's not enough like feminist energy and like, hear me roar and I'm going to show you and I'm going to do that. That's not the way out. I used to think it was. That's not the way out. Does it feel good to show people and like prove a point? Yeah, but it's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make you happy. It's cool and it's fun sometimes, but I can promise you there's so many fucking people, especially that I went to school with, y'all. They voted me biggest slacker my senior year. You know how fucking good it feels to know that I look better, I've got my shit together, and I make more money, and I'm happier than most of the ones that voted for me as slacker. It feels cool. Do I think about it every day? No. Matter of fact, I just thought about it when I told you, like, I don't run off negativity. It doesn't fuel me. I'm the opposite. Okay? So I'm just not choosing that route. Like, I want a life where it feels good, it feels happy, it's supportive. It's like, it just feels better. Constantly feeling like I've got to prove myself to someone else or to feel better or whatever. Like, it's exhausting. And it's what halfway blew my adrenals out. What drives me now is different. And I'm happy when I do reach for the next level. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, I've noticed a trend when black women come in to work with me, and it's a vibration too. I've got some white chicks that do the same thing, that kind of look at me like, what you gonna show me? Huh? What do you know about me? What do you know about my kind? Huh? Little rich white girl? You ain't never had to struggle. Like, they don't know me. They just don't know me. So they got that chip on their shoulder, and that's fine. I remember feeling the same way. And I think that's why I attracted, because I was the same way. Like, it was my view to everybody was that, you know, I had such a fucking fighter. Like, let's fucking roll, baby. I will defend myself. I just walked around with my fucking puffers on, you know. And it'll get you, man. It'll get your ass if you're not aware of it. So maybe ask yourself if you feel like your worth comes from accolades. I can't even say it. If it comes from what you've done, like no wonder you're not happy, because you thought that was going to make you happy. You thought that made your family happy and proud of you, but now you're like getting a little bit older, a little bit wiser. You're like, motherfuck, something's not right. And that's where I step in, because now we go beyond the physical. Now we go into the spiritual, where that shit doesn't matter. You can't take a degree with you, can't take money with you, can't take clout with you. That's how fun little shit when we're here on this physical realm. We go to the soul level of shit so that you can have all this other stuff. And it's way better than you ever imagined. And you clear shit out for your children so they don't have to feel like you did. They don't have to feel like they need an MBA behind their name to be somebody. They're free. They're no longer slaves on a spiritual plane, thinking that they've got to do this for that. They get to listen to their heart and do what inspires them. That could be fucking sewing worms on a YouTube channel, like made out of yarn. But that's what they like to do. They're going to be very successful at it. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to come on here and say, is to maybe provoke some thought. If you feel like that's you, sit there and journal about it, and start looking at who taught you that it was about degrees and accolades and all this shit. Like, who taught you that? And you can be thankful for them. They didn't steer you wrong, because look, you made something of yourself. But now, what about the other pillars? What about spiritual health? What about emotional intelligence and not feeling like a victim and not feeling like you're the odd man out? What about feeling supported here and in being, just supported by everybody, and not just for what you've done or what you can do or whatever? It's just like, yeah, you're badass. Like the damn rainbow fish I said. You've got the scales, man. You find the other people that's like you are, right? But going back to, women being suppressed as a woman, and then you pair being a black one on top of it. Like, I get it. And I think that's why I just love a strong black woman. Like, I don't know what it is. And comment if you feel me. Like, I don't know if it's something, I don't know why. I just admire a strong black woman. I love it. It's so, I cry when I watch movies about it. I feel like they've had to go through just a little bit extra, man. And when I see them winning, I'm just like, yes. When I see white, Asian, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not dissing any other race. I'm just saying that I see you, and I get it. Like, I don't get it, so don't come at me like that. But I'm just saying, I see this strength in you, and it's so inspiring. It's this goddess energy, and I don't even think that you see it in yourself. That's what is so painful. So, this goes out to anybody, any soul that's struggling. We've all got our stories and our reasons, but it doesn't have to be a struggle. Anything that you feel kind of rubbing up against the new edge, and like this past call, every time we would ask her a question, she went right back to what she plans on doing with her degrees and all this stuff. And I was like, she's just not coachable, man. She's just not coachable. She's not ready to do the inner work, because inner work don't give a fuck about a degree. Inner work doesn't give a fuck about whose dick you're sucking. Inner work doesn't give a fuck about who your daddy was. So look at your shit, feel your shit. And if you're not where you want to be, and you're not understanding what you need to understand, things aren't clear to you, you're not healthy, you're running around stressed out, something's off, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not know that answer, because you've been doing what you're good at. You've been getting fucking degrees and shit. Now it's time to open up spiritually and allow true healing to take place. All right? You already got it inside of you. So allow me and others like me to ignite that and show you. It's like my shaman said yesterday. It's not that a person can heal us and show us the way. It's like they just hold up a mirror. That's why, like, when I trigger people, it's like, I'm just holding up a mirror, if I help you in some way and you feel like, wow, thank you so much for doing it. I mean, yes and no. Like, I'm just holding up a mirror. It's what my shaman's done and her healer's done and my coach's coach has done. It's like they just hold up the mirror. And yes, some people can show us, hacks and shortcuts. Absolutely. That's the cool part of it. But yeah, I'm just showing up. I'm just putting up that mirror, man. I'm showing you, reminding you what the fuck you already knew on a soul level. Some shit just happened to you or your parents, or your grandparents, or your great great grands, and you have just been taking it on and you don't know what the fuck it is. And we got to go in there and clean that shit out. And you'll find happiness. You'll find everything you want. So Valerie said, I totally agree. I feel like people can be highly educated with no common sense. Yeah. If anything, Val, like that's me all day. Sometimes I look at people and I say, you're too fucking smart for your own good. Like educated idiots. I call them educated idiots. Seriously. It's like the Warren Buffett guy when he brought his wife something to puke in. He brought her a fucking strainer. It's like, dear God. Oh, Stephanie said, me too. Vanilla on the outside and chocolate on the inside. Yeah. Yeah, Steph. And you're like me. Like we relate because we've been through some shit, man. We've been through some shit and we've made it out. And yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm going to have to do that on a soul level, like what it is. But anyway, Allie said, amen, be teachable. And it expands to those around you. It does. It does. And hey, I'm the first, man. I'm like hard-headed and shit. And sometimes when I get presented with the next thing that I need to learn, and I'm like, fuck, I thought I knew that. Okay, guess I didn't know shit. Just being willing to be like, okay, I surrender. Once I got to that point, like, fuck it. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with that. Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? And then I always have breakthroughs. Like, and I say this in all my trainings, like, I'm going to say some shit, y'all, that does not stick with you and it's not yours. But the stuff that does, like, your soul hears it. But you have to do the inner work. You have to do the hard shit. You got to have these hard conversations with yourself. What did she trigger in me? Why did that feel that way? Where did that come from? Who does this remind me of? What story is this mean? If this was true, then what? If that was actually true, then what? Well, what is it that I choose to believe instead? It's all about mindset. It's all about reprogramming our subconscious mind at the end of the day.